Today is November 22nd, 2020. I will be reading House of X slash Powers of X. It's a nice little combo here, which is very nice. I did a little bit of looking through it before. I have no idea anything about anything on this. I mean, I know X-Men, so this is, I guess, the modern take on it now. And when I saw the previews months ago, I was not a fan. It kind of looked really stupid to me. So maybe I'll be wrong. Maybe I'll be right. We're gonna fucking find out, I guess. Giving credit where credit is due. I guess right before I say anything, I did notice, as I was saying, I think it goes back and forth. I think so. It's not like the top half is House of X, the back half is Powers of X. It kind of, like I said, jumps back and forth. I'm not sure if it goes one to the other. If it goes like two, then one. I'm not sure. Anyway, it's kind of showing what it looks like on without the sleeve. I forgot. I don't know if I even showed it with the sleeve, but I'll get once when I show it with the sleeve, we will get right into the credits, and I won't say much more because I think it's just best to just read right in. Just read it. So. This book was read it and do a podcast. Why not? I love X-Men. It's crazy that as much as I love X-Men, I have not read as much X-Men as I'd like to, as much as I'd like, or as have liked. But anyway, just getting into giving credit where credit is due. We got. The writer is Jonathan Hickman, which I'm familiar with that name. He's done, I'm sure, several things. That's one thing I'm terrible at is credit. That's why I'm saying credits anyway. We got Jonathan Hickman as the writer. Artist is Pepe Larraz, I'm sure it's Pepe, not PP. But Pepe Larraz, I'm going to say Larraz. And you got color artist Marte Garcia with David Curiel for number 6. And then cover artist is Pepe Larraz and Marty. I'm sure Marty Garcia or Marte. Anyway, Marte or Marta Garcia. I'm sure it's Marty Garcia. I could be wrong. It could be Marte Garcia. I apologize if I butchered any of the names. You got for Powers of X, that was all House of X. All the credits I just gave. For Powers of X, we got R.B. Silva with Pepe Larraz for number 6. Inkers, R.B. Silva. I don't know if I said pencilers, inkers, both R.B. Silva with Adriano D. Benedetto. I'm sure I'm once again, I feel like I'm butchering it. But that's for number 1 and 2. Color artist Marte Garcia with David Curiel for number 6. Cover artist R.B. Silva and Marte Garcia. You got letterer VC's Clayton Cowles. Design Tom Mueller. Assistant editor Annalise Bissa, and an editor Jordan D. White. Alright, I could have said, fucking a lot more smooth, or just smoother. I can't fucking talk right now, I guess. But I'm not gonna give any more credits really. Because that's pretty much everything else is kind of like, I guess, getting more tedious. There isn't much else to say. As far as I remember, there's a rebirth of sorts. It's been a while, man. I can't remember the last modern age X-Men comic I've read in a while. I think Second Coming, honestly. I guess anything involving Secret Invasion or Dark Avengers or Dark Reign era. But anyway, I know I was also aware of X-Men versus Avengers and Schism and all that, but I'd like to get around to that eventually. And for modern comics, I was kind of reading on the outside kind of stuff like X-Men Legacy and Uncanny X-Force and stuff. Anyway, Wolverine and the X-Men, that seems kind of interesting. It's kind of like that school kind of thing. I think there might be something to it. Anyway, let's get right into it. So I finished the first issue, or chapter 1. I'm assuming, I mean, once again, I think it's House of X. There's the chapter 2 saying Powers of X, and I do think it actually is going back and forth. It could be wrong, but I'm pretty damn sure anyway it was House of X, issue 1. And so far, I mean, I will say Pepe Larraz, he's a fantastic artist. I'm pretty sure I've seen even his artwork before too. But in the color artist, Marty Garcia, fantastic, just fucking fantastic. The first issue, I mean, I don't want to really give like any kind of summary, or I mean, like, well, I guess like a Wikipedia entry or anything like that. I don't want to give too much away. But they're essentially just showing, you know, well, it's kind of a new era of sorts. Krakoa is pretty big; it's massive, and there's just this island. I mean, once again, I feel like this has probably been explained a million times, but there's an island for mutants that are now making it, that I guess the X-Men are now making exclusively for mutants. I mean, there's some parts that I guess humans can walk around. But they're trying to be seen as an actual nation and respected as such. They have things that they can offer in return if the outside world agrees to them. And this is kind of like the outside world meeting the inside, meaning the Krakoa. But not, once again, they only can go up to a certain part. For the most part, they kind of just show. This first issue, they were just showing just the land. They're just showing the world. I mean, it's not literally the full world, but showing just where the X-Men is now. Where the X-Men is now. I did say that. I just felt like I felt it. Anyway, god damn, man, I can't fucking talk. But yeah, I mean, so far there were some moments where it kind of like. It was a little slow. I mean, when they were explaining, just kind of jumping around some of the parts of the island, and I mean, but it's like, you know, it's such a small little minor thing, and you know, it doesn't. It's very short lived. That kind of that little mini drag. It's like only a few panels, and then it goes into, you know, they're just continuing the story. As I was mentioning not too long ago in another podcast, when you have, you know, such a giant franchise, you really can't make too many changes without, you know, big fear of everything like kind of imploding. And there are some changes. I do think it's a really nice transition, actually. You know, we're now seeing this kind of utopia. They were trying to fight for this utopia for years now. But yeah, I mean, for the most part, it's when you are owned by a giant corporation, they're not going to fuck up any, you know, they're not going to allow, you know, the panel layout is fantastic. Once again, the art is fantastic. I think the storytelling, I mean, these are characters that you've known for a very long time. And I mean, I guess, you know, it is kind of like strange. You kind of like, you don't know all the details yet, because, you know, all the details have not been explained and have not yet to be shown yet. Maybe they were shown a little bit in some of the previous issues. I mean, obviously not House of X and Powers of X, because that was just its limited series. Yeah, I mean, so far, I mean, I guess I'm eating my own words. So far, it's not that bad. I also, you know, you get to see all these different mutants that have come through, maybe that have been, you know, that have now existed through all this time, and some of them, I don't know, it's just nice little Easter eggs, I guess, of sorts. You can definitely see that there's a little tension with the outside world and I guess the new X world. I mean, I keep on calling it a world because it's pretty much an entirely different world. I mean, it isn't, but it is. Fantastic Four make a little appearance. And right before going into Chapter 2, they were going into Powers of X, I think, by that point. And the artwork's a little bit more cartoony, a little bit more... yeah, I mean, I guess cartoony is a little bit better. I mean, it's not like the artwork for Pepe Larraz isn't a little cartoony, but I do, there's definitely a little bit more realism involved. I mean, I'm not the best artist by any means. I mean, I'm not good at much at all, but I definitely would love to. I mean, if I could, look up and try to reach out and be that. I mean, once again, I do all these. I juggle a lot of things, but I definitely would love to be an artist and. To be as good as, I'll probably never be as good as him, or say like, a person like Jim Lee, for example. But anyway, so far I don't want to, drag on too long. I feel like I pretty much said everything that happened. I'm gonna have to definitely read a little bit beforehand, because once again, I always thought that the guy with the giant thing on it, the Cerebro, not Cerebra. I think there might have been a different machine. Anyway, I definitely was saying it wrong, but Cerebro on his head. I thought that was Cyclops, but Professor Xavier's in his brain, in his mind or whatever. But I'm totally fucking. I guess I'm completely off. The guy just totally looks like. I guess the standing Professor Xavier. However, in the second issue, I don't know if this is like two different timelines or whatever. But maybe I guess. The Professor X, he does not have to always wear that outfit or that uniform all the time, I guess. He can just wear his regular clothes. Once again, he's now walking and stuff. I'm not familiar. Last time I checked, he was actually dead, and before then, he was not walking. I'm not totally against the idea, so we're going to see where it goes from there. So far, honestly, I really like it. It's honestly pretty good. Makes me feel good. It makes me, where X-Men's gone and is continuing going. And there's definitely some references to, some, messages. They're talking about, why wouldn't a culture have its own language? So it's just, it's a better example. I can't remember the exact detail. Is it the one before? Yeah. One cannot create a distinct culture without it. It's as simple as you put it. It's totally true. So, yeah, let's just fucking continue on, man. Alright, so I just finished chapter 2, which is technically issue 1 for Powers of X. I will say, I forgot to mention, I'll say, so House of X issue 1 was pretty thick of a book, and normally in the last decade or so, Marvel books and DC books for the most part, most commercial books only had 17 pages to them, and it was just filled with fucking advertisements. And I imagine that issue 2 and so on for House of X isn't going to be as long. I will also say that Powers of X issue 1 was pretty long, but it was not as long as issue 1, or at least it didn't feel that way. I didn't count the pages, so I could be wrong. Some of the dialogue was a little kind of cheesy during the fight scene at the very beginning. Maybe if I reread it, it won't be as bad. But at the same time, though, overall, it was pretty decent. It's just interesting that they're now kind of putting you through different different points in time. I guess maybe it could be considered different timelines, but I'm just trying to find I will also say there's a couple moments, a page or so, or a couple pages before issue 1 and issue 2, or chapters 1 and 2, which kind of made me go it goes leaves you kind of what the fuck's happening, but at the same time though, it's really not I don't know, it's just kind of a dream or something like that, or I guess in the first page or whatever for chapter 1, it's kind of a rise from your grave kind of situation. Hold on, let me. Yeah. Yeah, of course, my faith is boundless. I pray for all living things. And that's your problem, priest. You've forgotten that machines have no soul. And that the humans lost theirs a long time ago. you could argue that, especially in the situation that they're in, you could definitely argue that. But at the same time, it is kind of like a little cheesy line. But I mean, I will definitely say that overall, issue 2 or chapter 2 or issue 1 of Powers of X, or chapters 2 or issue 2 of this book. I mean, there's so many fucking ways you take it, but it's not bad. I would definitely say I do like so far House of X a little bit more, but I do definitely like the little sci-fi feel, because they're kind of putting together like fantasy and science fiction together, especially with the artwork and everything, especially in my opinion anyway. I mean, it just there's some moments where it kind of like, I guess, like it wanes or is kind of dull in some moments, but overall, I mean, I would say it's a pretty good X book, man. It's a pretty good X-Men book, man. Pretty good fucking X book. Yeah. I mean, it is interesting. Once again, you're getting like, I can't remember the last time we've seen Nimrod, so I mean that's kind of nice. I mean, I'm only really aware of Nimrod, well, actually, I guess from Second Coming, and as well as HeroClix myself. I mean, that's how I first was introduced to Nimrod. But yeah, I think it's kind of interesting that they bring up Second Coming, I guess. I mean, it's probably all fucking, it's a build up to where they're at now. But it's kind of still that, battle for humankind against mutants that turned into robots against mutants. I mean, we got a green Magneto now. I mean, I don't know if it's actually Magneto. I mean, you can see Wolverine, he's still alive and kicking it, but he's looking old. It's been 1,000 years at this point that I'm seeing. Or is it this is 100 years, I think, in the future, not 1,000. My bad. At the scene that I'm showing, or that I'm looking at, I'll just show it. So, I probably didn't show that long enough, but I was just going to show some other sections so far. And it was kind of, there's little pages on the side that you can read that kind of like go in a little bit of detail, which some of them are interesting. I wish they kind of just like show. I mean, I don't know if they've shown it in the past, or if it's just like little details they just never got around to, or it'd just be too much to draw or whatever. But I mean, if only. I mean, maybe they're on a little bit of a crunch time, or they just like just this little bit of fun information. Fun information. Maybe we'll go back to it one day or whatever. I mean, like, I just flipping to like the Sinister line, for example, the mutant breeding program, and showing how they get to the Chimera or Chimera, however you want to say it, generation and all that stuff. It's definitely interesting, and I mean, once again, maybe they'll show it later on, or maybe they just never will. Maybe it's just like, let's enjoy it. This all just a little bit of backlog story or whatever. I was just trying to show like what I mean by that fantasy kind of element is there. I mean, and obviously in chapter 2 or issue 2, whatever the fuck. I mean, like, it's a lot more science fiction. I mean, there's definitely science fiction kind of like being blended together. I mean, I guess. Well, I mean, this is a pretty good example, I guess, of a little bit of fantasy aspect. And once again, this is the artwork I was referring to that was kind of cartoony. I don't know if it's R.B. Silva that continues into this. It looks like it is. This is the one section, I guess, I was referring to where I felt like there was a kind of dodgy dialogue, a little cheesy, kind of like B-movie kind of action. But I don't know. It's once again, it's not like terrible, like, you know what I mean, like, I can't even give an example, like, I'm gonna beat your face in with this meat stick. That'd be fucking disturbing. That'd be terrible dialogue. But, so anyway, and I'm not gonna lie, some of these characters definitely do remind me of, like, as I mentioned in the past, remind me of, like, old, like, other, series, like Dragon Ball Z, for example, with this one character that is, I mean, that one character that does look like Dragon Ball Z character, I can't remember her name. She's literally introduced in this book, in this comic. Silo Bell. Silo Bell. I'll show her. I mean, doesn't that look like one of the androids from Dragon Ball Z? I mean, am I wrong? And this kind of the Sentinel looks like or Evangelion. I can't even. Neon Genesis. I can't even say it. I don't even fucking. I mean, I don't know the series at all. I've never watched it. I'm familiar with it. Not clearly enough to say the title properly. Neon Genesis Evangelion or Evangelion Neon Genesis. I can't remember. Maybe it's maybe I'm Neon Genesis. I fucking don't remember. But maybe you know what I'm talking about. Which you can't really. I'm not exactly. It's kind of cool, but it's kind of interesting. I mean, you can't really. I mean, I don't know. Paying homage, I guess. Just want to show it again because it's pretty cool looking. I'm not gonna lie. So, I mean, and this is like an example of what they're, some of the pages was just kind of like backlog or just, detail, backstory. Yeah, it's a Sinister line. Let's show it for one more second, I guess. I mean, you could just pause it or whatever. And once again, Nimrod he kind of comes off as like super evil villainy like, which, I mean, once again, as far as I remember, Nimrod in Second Coming was just like this fucking not flailing, but there's just a fuck ton of Nimrods that are just coming out of this portal and just like mutants had to fight them off. I don't know if they really even said much. So yeah, I got this like super Nimrod. Anyway, I don't want to talk about it for too long. I want to get on with it. Again, I don't know if I showed this. I mean, there's a tree man. That's on the far, to Logan's left, tree man, and then like I said, and I still think it's like kind of weird. It's like a 5-year-old was really good at drawing Magneto, but really wanted him to be green instead of like red, or his presumable like kind of red purple outfit. And then they obviously changed him to that complete white outfit. Anyway, yeah, and then going into the future was it's definitely going somewhere else. I mean, obviously it's just kind of like obviously where do you go? Where can you go next? But we'll see. So, is it just going to be more world design or landscape, just kind of like just showing more of like what Krakoa is all like, or is it gonna be, I don't want to even fucking like speculate, let's fucking read it and I'll just talk about it after. So I mean, we'll see what happens. I mean, it seems like clearly they still want to do Age of Apocalypse kind of style. Well, it's not exactly Age of Apocalypse that I'm seeing yet. And I do remember that Apocalypse is now on the X-Men side because he was saved, or Uncanny X-Force. So that's also kind of a nice. I mean, once again, it's just coincidental, but I mean, once again, I'm sure if you read any X-Men book, I'm sure they're going to bring in references. And it definitely does make me want to read, what happened right before this. Or is this like a complete, like, because I remember right there saying that it was a rebirth, like not a restart per se, but anyway, getting into chapter 3, which I don't remember if it was for House of X or Powers of X. It doesn't sound really that important. House of X. Alright. Not even that important. Okay, so I just finished chapter 3, or I think it's like issue 2 of House of X. And at first it was a little confusing. And then they definitely explain it. And once again, just if you read it, I mean, it's a pretty extraordinary issue. Plays on the idea of reincarnation. I guess I'll leave it at that. And it's just I think this is, I mean, because it's such a, it's like, it's so fucking crazy. It's like all the ideas. I mean, I guess there's always going to still be new ideas, but it's just like if they, they're doing time travel and stuff like that, and it's not like, someone else couldn't do time travel, but it's like they're kind of going through like almost every avenue and every escape of kind of time travel through this. It's it's kind of like, what's the point of even trying to make a fucking time travel story by this point? It's already been fucking said 10 times over. But I mean, I do think this was done really well. I mean, I don't know if this character is necessarily new or if this is because I'm not totally familiar with some of. I mean, some of this sounds familiar. Like someone coming up with a cure for the mutant, which I mean, I remember that from X-Men Legacy even. So maybe that was around. I mean, so once again, I don't know how long this Moira M-O-I-R-A character, Moira character. I don't know how long she's been here for. But I mean, I guess they're kind of joking and through some of the side stuff is she's always been here, which is I guess like in a sense anyway you could say that with every character that even if they're new or whatever. I am here. I've always been here. And then there's like it shows the many lives of Moira X. It's pretty interesting. I don't know if I don't know how much of this is actually in the individual issues, or if this is all little like fun stuff that they're throwing in there. You don't necessarily need to read any of this. I was just looking at just to make sure, because they do show all of it for the most part, as to what happens and what her timeline and stuff. I mean, once again, I gotta commend them, man. I think it's a pretty good story so far. There are some moments that for sure kind of like if you can read through it, what I mean. It's very small moments, just and once again, I'd say for chapter 3 anyway, or issue 2 of House of X, you weren't sure what the fuck was even happening, but as long as if you let yourself fucking read it, what I mean. It's I don't know, man. I feel like a dick because I'm not really saying anything, but I just want to say it's just even like on its own issue. If you just picked up this one issue of House of X number 2, I feel like it has everything to do probably with this story. Obviously, otherwise they probably wouldn't tell this story or wouldn't be a part of it. But the story in itself is very interesting, just in its individual issue. Because I imagine they're not gonna do. I'm sure Moira's gonna be in this now, but yeah. I mean, I don't. She's on her current life now. I just, this artwork's still pretty fascinating. I mean, it is still a little cartoony, and I think this actually might be jumping back to Pepe Larraz. Yeah, I mean, just once again, very fantastic artwork, and just, I don't know, it's very cool, very interesting. I mean, once again, it's not boring. I mean, it's making I want to read the next. I can't wait to get to the next chapter. So I'm probably gonna shut the fuck up and get to that. I mean, once again, even this, once again, they're going. It's fucking. I guess, because once when I say this one sentence, it's gonna give it all away. But you're not gonna. You don't. You know what I mean? You don't really. I guess you don't get a lot of spoilers. You're not gonna get, but there's a character named Moira who can remember, she's just reincarnation. So when she dies, she remembers she retains all the information of her past life. And let's just say she's lived a lot of lives. So I'll say that much. I don't feel like I spoiled too much there. I once gonna commend it, man. Hey man, this is the next book. This is a book so far, I definitely want to even pick this up myself. So, it's $60. I'm sure it's not. I'm sure new maybe, or even like used or whatever, might not be $60, but which is, once again, and I guess once again, even the pages. I don't know how many pages there were, but it did seem like a pretty long. I think they finally are listening to the fans, or maybe they finally had some money to have some money, which obviously if you're under Disney, to actually make a bigger fucking issue instead of having like 15 pages or 17 or even sometimes 13. It's like, what the fuck? But let's get right into chapter 4, man. What's next, man? So one thing I forgot to mention that I wanted to mention at the end of issue 3 going into issue 4, it's essentially Moira's fault as to why Magneto and Professor Xavier work together, because Moira's kind of the missing link here. With her information and all the experience of living, she's able to transfer it into Xavier, who's unable to transfer it into Magneto. So, that kind of gives you an example as why they even are working together now. And whether they were working together before this book. I know that at one point when Xavier was dead, Magneto was a part of X-Men, and then X-Men, it's a complicated story. So issue 4, or chapter 4, which is Powers of X, number 3, I think, or maybe number 2. I'm fucking backtracking now, I think. Or I feel, anyway, no, I'm not. Alright, anyway, but issue 4, chapter 4, which is, I don't know, it's Powers of X. And they're now telling of what's going on. The current crisis, which is pretty much the same crisis that the X-Men have always been through, which I do think, by this point, we're kind of getting to a point of, which I think that they even are aware of that, it's just like this constant, Sentinels are coming, Nimrod are coming, Master Mold, Mother Mold, Extinction, just constantly, it deals with racism heavily, clearly. You always got, you can't fucking, always gotta be looking behind your fucking shoulder. You never know what the fuck's gonna come up. Just hating you just because of jealousy, envy, or, just because you're different. Now, what I want to say is, they also show that, now fucking, like I said, Apocalypse is now on their side, and I think that's partially because of also Moira as well, and also, like I said, I do think that they're bringing a bunch of old references into this, and once again, I think this is partially from Uncanny X-Force when they went and had to kill Apocalypse as a child, which, I've talked about, spoiler alert, they end up doing, but then Phantom X makes a clone of him, and then, tries to prove that he can be a good guy, not a bad guy. And we see here right now he's on the good side, and he's helping, like I said, I'll show it again, he's on Wolverine's side. They gotta go on a suicide mission, so now this is going on Days of Future Past kind of stuff, or Age of Apocalypse kind of stuff again. Kind of both. So, there's a lot of cool references. I don't want to, once again, I'm trying not to summarize too much. They go into the, they kind of show a little bit more of what happens in the year 1000 or whatever, X-Men year 1000, before going back to year 100, which they're now once again on that suicide mission. So, once again, we're going to see where it goes. I do think that they could, this could be just like, oh, great, another fucking story. What are they going to tell? Another story about fucking Dark Phoenix? Like, how many times you got to tell the same story over and over again? Even though, they add some things like, Dark Phoenix, no, not Dark Phoenix Saga, but, what the fuck was it? I think it was after Schism or during Schism, or during X-Men versus Avengers, where the Phoenix Force entered in through Cyclops, I think Colossus, Emma Frost, Namor, and I can't remember the fifth fucking person, which they do, and that one thing they showed all 5 people. I think it's Magic. Magic's the 5th person. So, besides that, there isn't, it's been fucking, so far it's been a nice ride. Obviously, is this going to become, Namor, Magic, Cyclops, Emma, and Colossus. Just once again, yeah. So I mean, once again, it just seems like it's just like this Sentinels or Phoenix Force. I mean, sometimes you'll throw in the fucking what are they fucking called? Emma Frost was once the White Queen. What the fuck were they called? Those fuckers. That's what we're just gonna call them. Those fuckers. I think it's Jamie Braddock. He's Monarch. He's the Black King, I believe. Fuck, I can't remember their fucking names right now. Or that. Anyway, but you know what I mean. And then there's, I guess there's a couple. You got Mojo. I mean, there's several. Obviously, Mr. Anyway. I mean, it's kind of nice. I mean, in a way, isn't life is a loop. So it's just like to be able to essentially write the same story in a way and make it sound cool. I mean, it's not literally that. I mean, it's completely. I mean, I think it's a little different. I mean, once again, I just feel like we're now back on the Days of Future Past kind of timeline where it's like we got to stop the Sentinels from blah 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 blah. But can we do it? And we got to do a suicide mission. Kitty Pryde, or I guess her name must be called Kate Pryde or Katie. I can't remember. I mean, I haven't gotten to that part, but I just remember seeing that. I mean, Kitty Pryde's a cool name, but I guess she doesn't want to be called Kitty. But she has not. I've not seen Kitty Pryde, at least, or Kate Pryde, or Shadowcat. I have not seen Shadowcat yet in this book. I'm sure she's gonna be in this whole thing. I'm sure. I mean, how? I just, is it gonna be a complete, total, like, fucking, essentially? I mean, is a reboot of sorts, or is it gonna? Are they gonna? I don't know. It's probably gonna be a combination of a couple of things. I don't want to fucking keep, blabbering on. I just want to get into Chapter 5, which I think they're going now to Powers of X again. So, I mean, like I said, Powers of X again. So, this is, I'm assuming, issue 3 then of Powers of X, which is Chapter 5 in the book. I wonder if they actually sell it as individual, because I feel like you kind of, I don't know if you need both. I do think you probably do, and I will say the transition has been pretty smooth from issue to issue, almost as though it's like it should have been, but they just decided to cut it up. I mean, I remember one problem I had with it is like the fact that they're selling 2 books. You don't have to pick up 2 books instead of just 1 book. But I mean, they've been, selling a bunch of fucking X titles, so it's just what's new. But I will also say, still, the length of these issues are still pretty fucking beefy. They're lengthy, man. It's good. I like that. I mean, in one sense, I'm going like, how fucking long is this issue? But at the same time, it's like fucking awesome. Like X-Men, Marvel's actually fucking making long ass issues again. I mean, fuck. I would have to like, I guess, I have to fucking actually like count the pages of the past and stuff to see like, when did they start transitioning into like, smaller issues. I know that they were like mini stories within issues like, starting out, not always, but anyway, I know I'm just jumping tangent and anyway, off topic and sort of, but all right, I'll just get into Chapter 5, or I think it's Powers of X number 3, I think. I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, I guess I'll probably correct myself. But yeah, it was Neon Genesis Evangelion. It just didn't sound weird. It just sounded weird. It sounded like 2 titles. Anyway. Okay, so I just finished Chapter 5, which I believe, once again, is Powers of X number 3. Which now going into Chapter 6, which is House of X, I think, number 3. But, I mean, I'm kind of contemplating whether to show this. I think maybe I'll show the page beforehand, maybe, or maybe the page before even. I don't know. See, I don't really want to like. Now we're getting to like really spoiler shit, because this is some of it's really exciting. Because I mean, once again, as I said before, a lot of they're making a lot of references. A lot of the story seems to be kind of like a reboot of sorts, or kind of like, not necessarily a reboot, but like kind of a retold, retelling of the story, and you're just in a different, different universe, or not. I guess a different universe, a different alternative timeline or whatever. I really kind of like, I'm afraid of like, I don't really want to show too much. There's this one panel right here. If I reveal it. I mean, that's pretty much spoiling everything that happens. Kind of like, especially as to what, where they're going, what they're gonna do. So I'm not gonna do that. I will say Moira is a very important character, and I really think they've been doing a very good job of telling the story so far. I think there was one other thing I wanted to say. Maybe I forgot about it. No, I mean, I think I said pretty much everything by this point. I guess I'll, once again, the artwork's still fantastic. I guess I'll show this. I mean, this isn't really going to spoil anything. Excuse me, sorry. It's just kind of interesting. Really nice artwork. I mean, once again, I would long and love to draw like that. And I mean, also the coloring is really fantastic too. You can't, very fantastic coloring. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's kind of a retelling. I'll say the Four Horsemen are still technically, what is it? War, Death, Pestilence, and I can't remember the fucking other one. Shit. Maybe I'll remember it. No, Famine. War, Death, Pestilence, and Famine. Normally they're supposed to be evil. And I guess in some regards, computers or technology, robots would probably consider the Four Horsemen as evil. But in this case, they're good. They're good guys. And dude, this is, I don't know, man, they just came out, or they're coming out, or they just came out with a HeroClix set for this storyline. I'm fucking very excited as to what characters they ended up using. Is like Apocalypse and the Four Horsemen, are they going to be chase figures? That's off topic, but this is, I don't know, man. And some of these characters, they're only, I don't know. I don't really want to, it's kind of wants to spoil it again. Just, I don't know, man. It's telling a pretty cool story so far. Once again, we gotta see where it goes. This is a roller coaster ride. And so far, I am very impressed. I will say also, this issue in particular was not that long, so maybe it's going to start shortening. Maybe, I don't know, but as far as I remember, it was pretty fucking short. Yeah, that's a thin one. That's a thin one, but I do think that it was a very important issue. I mean, like I said, that one issue with the introduction of Moira. I mean, once again, I could be, as far as I'm saying this, it looks like it was the introduction of Moira, although they were kind of saying she's always been here. I mean, it's an interesting way and an interesting take on how to completely change the DNA of a fucking universe. So that's, I don't know, I think they could have done it a very shitty way, and maybe there's someone who really doesn't like how it's going. I don't know, man, I just gotta show this. Isn't this some fucking beautiful artwork? Kind of reminds me of it just reminds me of Gundam artwork. I don't know. Fucking dope, man. It's fucking, wow, man. I hope one day I really can draw like this, man. That would be fucking awesome. I believe I can, man. I mean, some people fucking you can't do that shit. I didn't know how to play the drums before, man. Now I do, so, I mean, fuck off. Man, gotta believe in yourself a little bit more. Alright, there isn't much else that I can think of. I mean, I think I said everything. I mean, I really think, once again, Moira being tight. This is, I know for Second Coming, they brought in Hope Summers, and she was, I feel like introduce, and once again, I have to look it up, I guess, but I could be wrong, but I believe Moira is a new character, and if she is, I think they're doing a very fantastic job of blending all of this together. A lot of old references, a lot of new stuff, kind of like things flipped on its head, mirror versions of stuff. Yeah, it's pretty cool, man. A lot of sci-fi, a lot of fantasy, and a lot of mutants. It's fucking dope, man. I hope yeah, we're now getting into it. I was gonna say, I hope we can now start seeing a little bit more mutants in the present time, not the future. And because, like I said, if I haven't mentioned, a lot of the Powers of X is all dealing with the future. House of X, as far as I'm seeing, is dealing with the present, which I'm assuming Moira's kind of stepping in as Kitty Pryde. I'm gonna keep calling her Kitty Pryde until I see that she doesn't want to be called Kitty, which maybe she already said that. I don't know. Kate Pryde, Shadow Cat. Anyway, continue on. Okay, I just finished chapter 6, which is now, after finishing chapter 6 would be the halfway point. The issue is longer than chapter 5, and once again, this is House of X. So they know the threat, they're going after the threat and taking it out per X-Men style. You got good and evil, you know, these scientists that are trying to come up with the next, you know, Sentinel, Master Mold, Mother Mold, Nimrod, all that shit. I will say, in terms of, like, say it's a roller coaster, you know, it's the roller coaster, no, the cart's getting to the hill, I guess, you know, I don't know, and it's slowly, we're gonna see if it's gonna fucking go crazy or not. But there's, like, you know, a lot of, I guess, tie, or a lot of string, what's the word? No, that's not, fuck. A lot of loose strings that need to be tied up. I think that's the phrase. Man, it just never seems like I had the fucking right phrasing. But, like, somebody, you know, they had Sabretooth in court and stuff like that, and because he was doing some bad shit, and reason why, and there's a reason why and everything like that. Once again, it wasn't the most action-packed, it was just, you know, we're getting there, so it's just, might as well continue on. There wasn't really much to say, other than that, man. Yeah, I mean, I think it's a nice little build-up, gonna see where it goes, but I mean, in terms of everything else, this was, I don't know, I guess, you know, when I get a chance, I'd like to not have, you know, these are details that they could have put into the paragraph, you know, the pages and stuff, like Sabretooth got out because of, what was it, Amnesty or Siren, I can't remember, so some political bullshit, which they were showing, you know, obviously for a reason, but anyway, I'll leave it with that, continue on. Okay, so, two things, one, I didn't know how old the character of Moira was. I mean, I forgot the last names, like Toggenbergen something or whatever. Fuck, I just literally looked it up. But I've recognized that name before, and actually she's even been in X-Men movies. And I'm not the hugest fan of the movies, but I mean, so I think, now I'm just fucking drawing a blank. Yes, during X-Men Legacy, when David Haller really wanted to get rid of his powers, I think that might have been it. Maybe it was a different time when you can get rid of your powers, but she was the chick she was the woman that came up with the idea of wanting to get rid of the powers. So I don't know if otherwise, I guess it would be another person. I think it was her, though. So, I mean, I'll totally recognize that. I totally didn't recognize her, but, you know, I guess it also shows how much X-Men history I know, which is, you know, still fucking minute, man. I've barely fucking scratched the surface of X-Men. There's a lot. There's a lot. The other thing I wanted to get to before we get into, before I start reading chapter 7, I was mentioning how there was a roller coaster scene, and I don't know why I didn't even mention this. I mean, I'm not going to show I'm not going to give any context to this, but I will show the last panel of chapter 6, or what is it? Issue number 3 for Powers of X or whatever, maybe? Or House of X. Yeah, I think it's House of X. Powers of X is the future, I believe. Deals with the future. But yeah, just, you know, once again, that roller coaster ride definitely starting to go down, and in, you know, climax, cliffhanger fashion, you know, that's a nice panel to leave it out on. So, I guess it helps, being reincarnated, I guess I'll leave it with that. So I just finished, chapter 7, or, House of X, issue number 3. I'm assuming it's issue number 3 at this point. But just want to show, once again, very beautiful artwork. Just fucking, it has like almost nothing to do, really. I mean, maybe it does. I mean, no, I guess it totally does have something to do with what happens in issue number 3 or chapter number 7 of House of X. It's, it's a roller coaster ride, man. I mean, in my opinion, I do think that this book so far, I mean, I haven't finished it yet, but I will say so far, in my opinion, it's being the story. I mean, the artwork is always, it's usually always good. I mean, when you're fucking in good hands, man, usually, I mean, you fucking, when you got a lot of money backing up, it's got to look good for the most part. You know what I mean? If it doesn't look good, then it's just like, but no, this looks beautiful. It's beautiful fucking artwork still. But yeah, I mean, just storyline wise, it's just, and there might be like, say, like a hokey line, 1 or 2 every now and again. I did see, I think, one grammatical error, which kind of like, I feel like bad even mentioning that. Because, you fucking, that's just one of those stupid things you just never want to fucking like. It's just like, damn. I'm not even going to show you where it is. But it is there. It's not a big deal, really. But it reminds me kind of some anime or manga, how characters, very beloved characters that you really want to not die, end up dying. Though in case of, like, at least Marvel or DC, even doesn't matter, characters have been reborn, so, and, been brought back to life. And, so even though some of these characters that die, I'm not gonna, I mean, I guess I'm spoiling it with that much, but, some characters that die, I do feel like they're gonna come back. I'm not, like, really, like, it's kind of like, obviously sad, like, I don't want these people to die. They're fucking, like, some of the best characters that ever exist in all time, but, who knows? I mean, I doubt they're gonna keep these characters dead. I bet this is, I mean, will it be one of those moments where they restart everything, making it so that all this didn't have to happen? We'll see. But, so far, I'm not gonna lie, it's been pretty much a retelling of the same story as mostly a lot of X-Men stories have been told beforehand. It's a little different, but there's a lot of, like, I would say, even, like, it's kind of like refurbished nostalgia. I mean, I could definitely see someone having a problem just going, like, if you're not really a huge fan of X-Men, this is not something that's gonna fucking, like, make you go, holy shit, probably. Because, like I said, it's pretty, it's being told pretty well. I mean, we'll see what happens. At the end of this book, I mean, there's some new stuff being told theater, but at the same time, at the end of this book, if they don't really kind of because it just seems like they're kind of going through the timeline of all things, and it seems like they're finally getting to the end result. I'm sure, like, I mean, I could be wrong here, but it seems like they might have gotten into a writing room and were like, all right, let's just fucking get to this timeline. Let's throw all the possibilities of what happens. How can we finally close the loop and start a new chapter, like a true new chapter? That's what I think is happening here. I could be wrong, but it's, obviously it could be like, reinventing the wheel of sorts, reinventing the X-Men wheel. But so far not bad. I mean, whereas the last issue, the last chapter was, like I said, kind of like a, build up of what's to come. I mean, the next chapter, issue 7. So, like I said, chapter 6 is very kind of just like tying up loose ends. I think that's than strings, tying up loose ends. And then this one's just like, all right, we got all the loose ends all tied up. Okay, let's fucking go. That's how it felt like. So, and once again, like, some of these characters, like I said, have died multiple times. But no one's death is shown in this page, but I'll just show a little bit. So, a lot of shit's happening. I don't want to well, I mean, I feel bad. I mean, I guess you could pause it if you really fucking just, but, like, a lot of action, a lot of explosions. It's not a lot of, explosions were happening the entire time. I felt like it was pretty evenly paced. I mean, once again, like when you are at the helm of something so great, you really, I mean, if you fuck it up, man, it's just like, it's probably not even just your fault. I mean, especially because it's not just like, this isn't their characters. This is someone writing about someone else's characters. Fucking A. But you have an entire team making sure that it's good and everything. And if they all like it, then... So... And by the end of the day, and I've talked about this before and in another podcast, you do definitely got to think of, like... You got to think of as a fan, because you are a fan. Not thinking as a fan, because if you are a fan, you're going to already think as a fan. But you also got to think in the business sense, because if you don't think in the business sense, you can go bankrupt if you take too many... changes, I guess. Too many chances. Yeah, I guess that'd be a better word. I feel like there's another word better than that, but chances works. Take too many chances, you might fuck up. But I mean, I do think that it's a combination of both, hand in hand here. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's a lot of professionalism, a lot of professionalism and perfectionism. It's not totally perfect, clearly, but it's pretty damn good. It's a good story so far. I mean, it could totally turn to shit at any moment, but I don't think it's going to. So, go from there. Alright, so I just finished Chapter 8, which is, I believe, Powers of X number... Actually, I think it's number 4 by this point, isn't it? 3 or 4? Yeah, I think it's 4 now. I could be wrong. If it's at 8, I imagine it would probably be 4, right? I can't count. Okay, so once again, they're tying up a lot of loose strings. I mean, continuing the roller coaster ride, you got through all those flips and fucking hills, spinning around in circles and shit. Now you're just they're tying up loose ends again. This one is actually a thicker issue. It's actually a lot longer. The beginning kind of explains the future of Powers of X of the year 100 or whatever, and then into year 1000. Then they go into year 1000 to explain a little bit more. This is definitely telling, like, it's a bunch of, it's a conglomerate, an amalgam of stories. I mean, I'm sure they might have already mentioned this, possibly, but it's just pretty much an amalgam of, almost told in a different light of the history of X-Men in a way. This issue also explains the very, 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 very beginning with the X-Men coming out of these like eggs. That's literally what they're calling them. I don't want to leave. I guess this is I think the scene, the very beginning of the book. I still can't get over that this Professor Xavier looks almost exactly like Scott Summers. I mean, once again, maybe I don't know. It probably is Xavier. I mean, it definitely is Xavier, but just maybe I don't know. The visor maybe kind of looks like if like Cyclops was like really fucking like next level, I guess. Anyway, yeah, I mean, I don't know much more to say. I mean, it's just once again just tying loose ends. There's a reason for the year 1000. I mean, they're totally like making you go, like, it reminds me of the Eternals, which I don't really remember much of anything of the Eternals, but it definitely reminds me. I mean, it's like science fiction, kind of like these alien gods. Yeah, the Phalanx. Yeah, I mean, if I remember, this is the alien race or whatever, that gives the techno-organic virus or whatever. If it's actually called the I mean, once again, it doesn't sound right. Techno-organic virus doesn't sound right, but I'll just show them. Yeah. These guys, the Phalanx. It says right there, Phalanx, right? Phalanx. Sounds futuristic in a way. And that's, it's kind of jumping around. I mean, I don't know if this is technically spoiling it in a way, but it's kind of funny. You got one character going, I don't know what the fuck just happened, and they're pretty much playing off as the reader because you're just like, what the fuck did just happen? And they explain it. I mean, once again, in terms of telling a story, I do think that you gotta fucking tie up loose ends. I mean, obviously, it's kind of like a pit stop of sorts before you get back into the fucking race. But I do think that it's fucking cool as fuck, and I was definitely right about my assumption. That's all I'm gonna say about that. I mean, if you're listening to what I was just saying, I mean, you probably totally get what I'm referring to. I'll just say it again. Instead of saying it again, I'll just show you it again. Oh, also, I guess this is not what I was going to say, but they show a little bit of Krakoa being built, so that's really cool. Yeah. Here are the eggs. This is what I'm referring to. Once again, this should pretty much tell you what happens, or what's happening. I kind of don't want to show this just because that's spoiling it. You can probably barely see this, but the artwork's pretty nice. I mean, I think it's probably in the back. I remember this artwork. See if I can get it in color. And also, yeah, they show Mr. Sinister and show the Chimeras, and once again, it doesn't show the Chimeras, but it shows getting to that point for the future. So, I mean, if anything, it just kind of long-term investments, if anything. Swear to God, where the fuck? Maybe it's not. That sucks. I swear, it's gotta be. I mean, maybe I gotta actually, look at it. Oh well. Oh wait, maybe. Perhaps. Nope. Wait. I'm just trying to find that one issue. Oh, here it is. Fucking A. This is for issue 9, but fucking beautiful ass art. This is beautiful artwork. I would have this as like a poster even. I'd frame it. It's fucking beautiful. Oh, and also I wanted to mention that Storm's she's in here. Hopefully we get to see some Gambit. There's a couple other X-Men. I don't know if fucking Colossus has really made I mean, there's plenty of X-Men to show. And Mystique as well. They did show she was in it. She's been in this too. Guess I'll leave it with that. Pretty exciting. Yeah, continuing on. I mean, once again, it's tying up loose ends. Pretty much getting into a conclusion here. We got 9, 10, 11, 12, 4 issues left. Okay. Let's do it. Okay, so I just finished chapter 9, which I believe was House of X number 4 or 5. I can't. Or it might be number 4, I believe. It doesn't matter. I'll end it. Well, I'll start it off by showing the ending of number 9. And this is one of the things that they were saying, that all good and bad, even if they're on the same, they are on the same side, even if they are good or bad, are fighting the same fight. So, kind of joining together. This last issue, I mean, once again, it kind of was still tying things together, loose ends and whatnot, kind of explaining everything. And just everything. I mean, there's a lot going on. There's a lot of shifts, a lot of change happening very suddenly. One thing I forgot to mention, which I might have mentioned, but I mean, I want to talk about a little bit more, which kind of goes into more in this, is just teamwork. How you can be very powerful as a single entity, a single entity, but no, I guess team. I guess a team would also still be a single entity. That sounds so weird. Anyway, an entity. Anyway, a single person can be very strong and get a lot done, and sometimes when they're in the wrong team, it can hurt them. or hinder them or hinder everybody if they can't work as a team or just doesn't work, just doesn't come together. It just can't come together. But in this case of this resurrection, they need to use several mutants together. I'm going to say several. I mean, I don't. They say there's 5. They have to use. I mean, it's not just these 5. I mean, they need. I mean, just like an outside idea. I'm sure it was. Whose idea was it? Like, if I do this and you do this and you do that. I mean, like, it could have been from those 5, or it could. I mean, anyway, it wasn't just those 5, but on their own, alone, they can, maybe they can, for the most part, probably can handle themselves and contest the worst of it. Or handle their own. We'll just say that. But together, what I mean? The power that they wield together is so much stronger because they are together than when they are apart. Kind of a duh situation, but it's just teamwork and coming together. Just fucking putting aside differences, trying to fight the same. I don't want to say trying to fight the same fight, I guess. But I won't lie though, there are some depictions of kind of like, even though on one side you can see it as unity, and another side you could see it as like some scary shit. They just keep on shouting, who are these people? They're mutants. I mean, it's a bunch of mutants shouting mutants, kind of in unity. So once again, like they're kind of like, empowering themselves. So that's a good thing. But I mean, obviously, that could also instill some other things, some fascism, for example, National Socialism. They definitely need to empower themselves, and this is kind of a reversal of all the bad shit. I mean, one of the things I'll use a nice quote for Magneto. Magneto said, wait, I think I actually did get it. Nope. He's talking about Genosha, which that's when like a bunch of mutants fucking just like were wiped out. I'm just trying to. I mean, when was it here? I fucking missed. I don't know. It's not that big a deal. I mean, he was just saying like instead of using it as like seeing it as a genocide, you can see it as like a fucking Oh, here we are. Okay. Okay, so this is Xavier saying to Magneto, and this is once again year 100. I'll show it. I will be reading this part right here. This part right here. So if you want to pause it for a second, if you can read it, if it's readable. But Xavier saying to Magneto, Eric saying to Eric. Charles is saying to Eric, over the years, man has killed millions of us, and so many remain lost. But this is the good work, Eric. And then Magneto says, or Eric says, and it must continue until Genosha is spoken of not as a grave, but as a crucible. And once again, I did not read the Genosha story arc. I'm aware that at one point Scarlet Witch got rid of all powers or just like brought people out of existence. I can't remember. Once again, even if I am aware of those storylines or those arcs, I have yet to read them myself, and I'd love to one day. Soon, hopefully. But, anyway, this is like kind of, once again, tying up loose strings, or loose ends, tying up loose strings, loose ends, whatever. Which I guess, you're trying to, as you're going along, you got to do that, I imagine. And kind of seeing where do we go here. I mean, it's Unity, and, they destroyed the scientists that were working on trying to get rid of the mutants, and clearly it's not over, because they clearly are showing the future 100 years and then into the future 1,000 years. I mean, maybe that time's over, maybe they don't have to because it was kind of fixed. I'm not sure, we'll see. So, Yeah, I don't know. There isn't really much else to say. So I might as well just get into chapter 10, which is Powers of X. I don't know if it's issue 5 or issue 6. I'm not sure. Oh, obviously, I mean, I know it's not issue 6. I imagine it'd probably be issue 5. I think that was just House of X in issue 4, even though it's chapter 9. Complicated anyway. So, yeah. Okay. So I'm now at chapter 10, or I think it's Powers of X number 5. It doesn't actually say number 5, I don't think, but wish it did. That'd be nice. Anyway, so I'll just show this. This is the very beginning shows some. Well, I guess the setup of how Cerebro got to where it is now and how it's on Professor Xavier's head all the time, pretty much, and why it's on his head all the time, which is very interesting. It's very nice that they're willing to. So, like, I will definitely say, if you are new to X-Men, this is a perfect jumping on point, because I really think it ties like pretty much a lot together, and I won't say everything together. I mean, like, I'm not seeing Mojo or I mean, they do mention the Reavers or I think it's the Reapers. I think it's the Reavers, but they do mention them. But once again, this is a bunch of mutants coming together, good, bad, and they're tying up loose ends. The storyline is that's happening, but I think it's very natural pace. Yes, it's the roller coaster is pretty much winding up. I mean, there's only 2 issues left after this. It's just pretty much just lending out the olive. Where's the olive branch, right? I always feel like I'm saying it wrong. Maybe that's not correct. The olive twig, the olive branch. I'm pretty sure it's the olive branch. Anyway, just making amends, going like, let's fucking do this together. And it's a Hellfire Club, by the way. The only reason why I knew that is because Emma Frost, she said Hellfire Corporation, because now they're selling this drug. The X-Men are now selling drugs. It's true. Well, I don't know. I think they're selling drugs, yeah. Yeah, but it's good drugs. It's drugs that can make you live longer and cure your. It's pretty much. I could be wrong, but hash oil. Could be wrong. This is not. It could be a lot more filled up. Anyway, and that was, someone who doesn't smoke weed is probably really pissed at me right now, going like, "Look at this fucking stoner." Anyway, I digress. But they are selling drugs now. That's what the X-Men are doing. And they're doing like a black market even in some of the countries that reject them as a nation. But yeah, it's just them. It's kind of like it's revolutionary in a way. It could go wrong. There's no doubt about that. But the whole thing is believing and hoping that it's not. And it was nice that you get to see like Omega Red and all these other I don't know, not sure what the fuck they're called at the time being. I'll just show this though. I think that's also Silver Samurai, but Silver Samurai, Omega Red. Is that Lady Deathstrike? Is that her name? I don't remember. And I can't remember this fucking group right here. I can't remember the fucking name. It doesn't matter. It's not important. But I mean, like, once again, if you're as someone who's like doesn't know all this stuff, like you're seeing a whole lot getting thrown at you. But I do feel like it's kind of weaving. I don't know. It's allowing. It's pretty much a portal to a bunch of other dimensions, which those dimensions would be different story arcs. They also go. I mean, this is Powers of X, which at some points they're showing, year 0 or whatever for X-Men, and they'll go into year 10, which is 10 years in the future, and then it goes into year 100, and then year 1000, which, once again, you're kind of like seeing like what's the point of year 1000, but it's a slow burner. But if you're willing to wait, it reminds me so much of the Eternals. It's not even funny. I mean, once again, I read the Eternals. I just don't remember it, but I just remember just being a slow burner. This is definitely it's sci-fi, science fiction element being included in this, and the way it ends is the way year 1000 ends before it jumps back into what year is this? I'm gonna guess that's probably year 10 or year 1 or whatever, year 0. But I know I'm telling you, man, this book is this is a great book, man. This is a great story. There's some moments where it's kind of slowed down a little bit, but and at some points you might seem confused. I mean, I know I definitely was like, maybe just essentially just hoping that maybe they're gonna answer or give an answer like why is it like this, and so far I'm not gonna say all the answers have been, or all the questions have been answered, or all the answers have been given even. I mean, I obviously have 2 more issues left, but I mean, it's a very, I mean, honestly, man, I'm telling you, this is like a fucking 9 out of 10 or so. At some moments it might go below that. I mean, maybe I'd say like 8.7, maybe 8.6. It might go below that at some moments, because it almost, I mean, we're getting to a point where it's like, is it going to be a giant circle jerk, or are we going to finally break the loop or end the circle? I mean, I guess that's kind of 2 different things. And go into the next life or whatever, the next chapter of X-Men, instead of just like constantly just like seemingly like regurgitating, recycling the same thing almost over and over again. But like, it had a purpose for it all, and this book does really explain that kind of thing, like just like why it would keep happening the way it is. And it just really, I guess, like, when you do such a book like this, it just kind of really makes you go like, where next? Where can you go next? Another example would be like the whole like Spider-Verse and all that. There's like the multiple alternate universes and whatever. It's just kind of like, where do you go next with that? Because it's like, well, what about all the different universes for Captain America or fucking Human Torch or whoever, which is exciting, but it can be very daunting and tedious eventually. And it's definitely playing around with time travel in ways. So far, I'm still not seeing Kitty Pryde or Kate Pryde, whatever you. I mean, once again, as far as I saw, I've yet to see her say my name is Kat or Kate, or Catherine. But anyway, I guess to end the little thing to pretty much finish this up. This is into, chapter 11. I've yet to read this, but once again, the artwork is fucking phenomenal. I mean, hopefully, once again, I'm sure I can, find the artwork for this in the back. I really want to pick this up, man. It's just fucking $60, man. Holy shit. Holy shit, man. I'm sorry, I know it's probably fucking boring and tedious as fuck. This chick looks like Gambit, though. Let me show you this. Doesn't this chick look like this woman? Excuse me, this lady. Doesn't this look like Gambit? Am I wrong? I will say, I mean, Mr. Sinister, excuse me. He, I've not had too much. I mean, once again, I've known him from HeroClix predominantly. He has not shown up as far as I have read in a lot of the stuff, a lot of the stories that I've read, but he's a very annoying character, for sure. And I'm assuming that they're probably playing the character that, always been. I don't know why they would change up some of these characters. Like, even the Nimrod character, his fucking personality is like, fucking hey, what a Nimrod. I'm sure that's the point. But this is the artwork for number 11. Looks really nice, man. And like I said, next to this fucking beautiful ass other fucking one. Anyway, let's finish this shit up. It's good shit, but it's gotta fucking end. I hope I said everything I wanted to say. I mean, I think pretty much, it's nice tying up loose ends and, seeing where it goes next. You gotta keep it exciting, of course. But, can't there be a little moment of peace? I mean, it seems what's happening right now. And I just, of course, you wish that the world would be like a little bit more like this. I guess one of the last things that happened that they mentioned earlier in the book is, pretty much saying to the world, we want to be seen as a nation. We'll do what needs to be done. Accept us, or there's no other, just accept us. That's it. Yeah. I mean, Professor Xavier, he says something. That was saying it was a lie, hoping for this one dream. Said in the past. Okay, so he's talking about how the drugs that he wants to give. He's like, in the past they would have been a gift, something freely given by me to you because I believed it would create harmony between our two peoples. That was my dream, harmony. But you have taught me I should say this. Let me start that over. Okay. In the past, they would have been a gift. Something freely given by me to you because I believed it would be... It would create harmony between our two peoples. That was my dream, harmony. But you have taught me a harsh lesson. That dream was a lie. You see, all I ever wanted was peace between humans and mutants. All I ever wanted was to love you and for you to love us. Which in a sense kind of once again, there's two different fucking ways of being seen this. It's kind of tiptoeing on the line, man, of what's right and wrong. I mean, clearly, you want them to stand up for themselves because they've been fucking killed and, traumatized and humiliated and harassed endlessly since the beginning of their existence. But I mean, you can once again relate this with anyone who's dealt with discrimination of any kind, sexual discrimination, race, skin, whatever. I mean, it's, of course, some very important things, but and it's sad that it has to be seen, it has to go this way, but it's like there's no choice kind of what's coming up. And so I mean, the other thing is who knows what the last two issues are going to be, but there hasn't been really a mutant versus human war, besides obviously terrorist acts and stuff done by both sides. Brotherhood of Evil, or Brotherhood, yeah, isn't it Brotherhood of Evil? God damn it, fucking when Magneto and Mystique and Blob, Toad, Avalanche, Pyro, I'm sure I can name off some more. They also showed, I'll end it with, they showed, the mutants that live in the sewers. I can't remember their fucking names right now. Morlocks. The Morlocks. At least it showed the leader. I can't remember her name though. But Calypso. Was it Calypso? No. I can't remember her fucking name. It's alright though. But that's kind of cool. I mean, once again, nice little references. Anyway, let's fucking finish this fucker up. So to finish up. Okay, to finish up, chapter 11, which was the last issue of House of X, deals with, once again, tying up loose ends, or loose strings, whatever. For sure it's loose ends. Anyway, but, so in the middle of the book at some point, the humans were going to send, they were sending Sabretooth on trial, and Emma Frost, she came in and said, "Hey, this is our dude. We're gonna put him on trial in our land." In which they're like, "Fine, that's fine, whatever." I mean, obviously, they weren't cool with it at first, but that's what happened. And now with chapter 11. Issue number 6 of House of X, Sabretooth is now standing on trial. So it does really show the power and benefit of being seen as a nation and, doing the responsible thing with said power when someone's doing something wrong and has to be held accountable for it. So that's really cool. And it kind of just a nice little, celebratory kind of moment, or celebratory. It sounds like it. Anyway, celebratory moment. Everyone coming together. People that once were not cool with each other are fine. Kind of getting along. You now seeing Apocalypse in the background, though. I mean, I'll show this. Kind of looks like Apocalypse might have something to say maybe later on. We'll see. But when I got to chapter 12, they show this. So that might not be a good thing. And let's get the actual colored here, right here. Yeah, let's get this is the Chica that looks like, or the woman that looks like Gambit, with a female version of it, I guess. I don't know. But a bunch of fucking mutants are dead, so we're gonna see what the fuck that's all about. Yeah. Okay, I mean, and that's the last issue right here, man. This is it. This is the fucking last issue. Alright. Okay, so let's fucking do it. One thing I wanted to say before I get to chapter 12, I forgot to mention. I did mention a little bit, but when they were dealing with Sabretooth, putting him on trial for on a mutant trial, or a mutant court rather than a human court, kind of showing the benefits of that, because it's like you're being held accountable, or you're holding accountable. You know what I mean? If say they took at first it kind of was like what are they gonna are they just gonna let Sabretooth go scot free? Is that when they got when Emma Frost said like we're gonna put him on trial or whatever, but. And you see what happened in with chapter 11 if you did read this book. But he stood trial, and it was pretty just. The other thing that went through this issue was they were trying to figure out rules and laws for their government. It's kind of like it's a lot like the American Revolution. They're kind of come up with their constitution. They're kind of come up with their own government, like what is right, what's wrong. And clearly, it's not gonna be easy, clearly, but I wish I could say a little bit more about once again, just the fact that they're becoming a nation and trying to be seen as equals, not trying to overstep their boundaries. They're not trying to take over the world. But they definitely, it is standing on this line of just like, watch out. But, and which, it's just kind of like any other nation, not any other nation, but a lot of big-headed nations, say, America or Russia or China, any just big-headed nation, I'll say they're big-headed. I don't know where I was going with that. They're a threat, but they kind of stand firm in their place, going like, if you want to, I don't know what the fuck I'm even saying here now. I just wish they're bringing in politics into this, which I think is really fucking interesting. And I think I wish I could say it's easy to digest, which it kind of is, but like, I'm just having difficulty explaining it. So maybe it's not easy to digest. But it's kind of easy to. You just you got to put a bunch of people, and they're not just anybody. Because that could be a jury. This is essentially a bunch of fucking judges. People that have a lot of experience that definitely stand in their place, and this is a spectrum of good and evil for sure. This council, but they're all brilliant minds. They all have perspective. They all come from different places, even though they're all one and the same in ways. Obviously they're all mutants. Yeah, I don't know, man. Like it's. I guess I'll leave it at that. I wish I could once again say some more. I guess I'll leave it with this. So that's pretty dope, man. Once again, the other thing I wanted to say, I guess, which kind of off tangent, but it's not. I guess there's some other things I wish I could talk more about the whole them putting in the politic message in there, which once again there's an importance to it, a formality of sorts. It's just keeping in check of other nations of sorts. If one nation's fucking, so it says like, we were granting or grant amnesty on this fucking dude, we're gonna fucking put him on trial, but then they don't do anything about it. It's, you only do that so many times before someone's like, you can't fucking do that shit. Shit, I feel like I was fucking losing myself again. God damn it. Fuck. No, what was I going to say? Damn it. I fucking lost. I definitely lost. That shit is gone. Oh, fuck. The other thing I wanted to say, I hate when I go on tangents, man. That happens every time. Not every time, but pretty often. Damn it. Fuck. Okay. Yeah, I don't remember. If I remember, I'll fucking have to talk about it at the end. If I don't remember, then I don't remember. Guess it's not important. I was talking about amnesty and how the government could fucking blah, blah, blah. Shit. Oh, well. Well, let's finish the fucking book. I feel like I wasted enough time as it is. Alright. So I just finished the book. One of the things I think is, I'm 99% sure, and this is what I was gonna say. Moira solved the problem with the Sentinels. Once again, they were looking for Red Queen, or they're looking. Let me see. So it's complicated. I'm jumping all over the place, and I don't want to forget. Oh shit, I'm losing it. All right. Oh yeah. Okay, so Moira stopped those Sentinels and stopped the Master Mold, the Mother Mold, Mold. Yeah, Mother Mold. I thought it was Moid for a second. Anyway, and I thought for a second that was gonna come back at some point, but I guess that was all solved just like that. Hopefully, once again, the Sentinels shit is gonna be like, how many more times can you really? Don't get me wrong, I love the whole Sentinel idea and all that shit. Fucking is cool as fuck. You gotta have that. It's that fucking. You gotta have a fucking yin and a yang, I guess, of sorts. But how many more times can you tell the same story over and over again? This is kind of a different story, telling of a story for sure. And now at the very end, you kind of go like, it also, well, shit. Okay, I don't want to get to chapter 12 yet, but the thing I did want to say once again was I thought they were gonna bring up some more of the Sentinel. I thought they were gonna come back, but no, that didn't. Just kind of like pretty much this is that already kind of happened, and then everything else was just kind of like tying up loose ends, pretty much just showing more of this world that they have created, this nation, but it's essentially as another world. Like a little Adam and Eve moment. There's some American Revolution kind of referencing here. If I didn't already mention that. They show they conclude the year 1000 kind of thing with, like I said, the Adam and Eve kind of thing. It's, honestly, man, the way it ends, like it kind of like you're on the roller coaster at the end a little bit longer than you wanted to, but at the same time though, just looking around in your cart was, very beautiful sight. The ride was a very beautiful, ride, man. Fucking complex. Clearly there's a lot of complex thinking, especially at year 1000. That they're throwing at the viewer, and my brain's just kind of like the words are just going over my head. Some of it, I'm just like, all right. I got pretty much what's going on. I feel like if I don't really want to spoil it. How can I word it? All right. So for the year 1000, once again, that's just one more timeline into what could be, and they're pretty much saying, no, we're gonna fucking change that because we have the will to do that. So, I guess one of the phrases I don't really want to. Fuck it. I guess this is one of the phrases. Fuck. Let's just say. Shit. They're always just like, we always lose. Can't we fucking win just for once? And they're just like, we're gonna fucking change that. We're gonna fucking win for once. That's what they want to do. So whether that actually happens or not, we'll see. But overall, like I said, it was a pretty good book. I feel like it did go on a little longer, potentially, than it needed to. But at the same time, though, it was once again just tying up loose ends and. Like I said, like I thought, like once when the enemy is, you think the enemy is like looming over, or still there, and maybe it still kind of is, or they still are in a way. I kind of just, I would say, kind of fizzles out in a way. But at the same time, though, I'm not gonna give it like an 8.6. I'd probably give it like maybe more of like an 8.3, 8.5. It's still a pretty goddamn solid book in my opinion. There's a lot of complex issues in hand that go on with this book. I mean, I would definitely read this again. Because, the cool thing about this book is, like, it's just like, I can't even... Is it The Prestige? The movie The Prestige, where if you see it a second time, I think it's The Magicians and all that. I can't remember his fucking name. It's got Hugh Jackman, coincidentally, for Wolverine, and Christian Bale. Once again, I believe it's The Prestige. But something you're probably gonna have to read a second time to get all the little nuances and everything. I mean, I do feel like I did pretty much get the story and message of what they're trying to do. I will say, pretty much, if you are looking for a book that pretty much engulfs almost the entire history of X-Men, this would probably be it for sure. House of X and Powers of X. I definitely gave it a little shit for sure in the preview. I thought, honest, because once again, like, what one of the biggest gripes I have is like, instead of changing a character's sex or race or whatever, but to literally come up with a new character. And I in some ways they kind of did come up with new characters. The way they explained how the future went and everything like that, which does make sense. They kind of go on scientific terms, rather than natural occurring. But there's a point for it all. I don't know if there's really much else to say. I will say this, as far as I know, didn't happen at all. So, that's good. That's good. Well, I guess in a way it did, but it didn't. They're trying to fix that. As they were trying to this entire time. Anyway, I don't know if there's really much else I can say. It's fucking beautiful, man. It's a pretty good book. So, with that being said, thanks for sticking around if you did. And if you haven't read it, I don't know why the fuck you... I guess, you could have... This isn't exactly a review of sorts. Honestly, this is the first time I've ever fucking graded something before. I never thought I'd ever do something like that. Fuck. I guess it's the first time for everything. I don't think I'm ever going to do that again, though. But, I was just to give, like, a genuine, like, this is actually pretty damn good, in my opinion, anyway, for an X book. This is coming from someone who's, like, fucking, can be a harsh-ass, I guess, critic. But, it's kind of, I view myself more as critiquer than a critic. But I guess, critic could be short for that. Because, some other people might fucking despise this book. I don't want to say it's going to be it's the greatest X-Men book, because realistically, there's a lot of, one of the biggest flaws is that it's just making references to a bunch of other really great fucking stories. But this is a pretty good story. So, and I know the whole regurgitation of it could put you off a little bit. I can understand that. So, As a matter of fact, I retract that graded rated statement. I don't know what I said a number. I'm gonna take it back. Because honestly, thinking about it, I would probably lower it, but I don't want to say what. But I promise I am lowering it because I'm thinking about it. It's a good story. It's a really good story, but it is kind of, regurgitating other stories that came before it, and to say that this story is better than those stories, it's kind of a paradox of sorts. Anyway, but put it back on its sleeve, or to put its sleeve, fucking to clothe it, because right now it's fucking naked. Sorry for making it fucking nasty, but it's funny. Alright, but yeah. House of X. Powers of X. I honestly thought it was gonna be shit, and I was proved wrong. I definitely think I'm gonna pick it up myself one day. I don't know when. I guess I won't lie, I do wish that it did end a little bit more oomph, a little bit more war or battle, which there really wasn't. It kind of, I don't know, man. Once again, I will take back, once again, I know exactly what number I said. It definitely is shrinking now that I'm thinking about it, but overall, though, there's no joke. Like tomorrow and the next day, I'll be like, yeah, that was a good book. And in my opinion, I do think it was better than. I felt it was better than Second Coming. But Second Coming definitely have its moments. Like one of the cool, I guess spoiler. A very prominent character dies. I mean, it's a pretty fucking. I don't know if it's like 5 or 6 years old by this point, or maybe older. Might be 2009. I think it came out, maybe. But anyway. Very prominent character dies, and it's kind of like a game of chase, or hide and seek of sorts. It's kind of pushing them to their limits, pushing the characters to their limits. Not like it hasn't happened before, but I don't know. I don't want to compare. They're two different they're telling two different stories, and once again, you got Moira's essentially. Kitty Pryde in this book, or Shadowcat in this book. There was no mention, at least I saw of. I mean, they were saying how they're looking for, I think, a Red Queen, or I think they call it a Red King, but hold on. They are looking for a. Fuck. Sorry for the fucking... Red King. They're looking for Red King, and maybe that's going to be presented afterwards. I believe that Kitty Pryde becomes Red King or whatever. But that's not in this book, which is fine. It kind of forces you to continue on. Okay, so once again, thanks for listening and watching. I hope you read the book, and I hope you liked it, or if you didn't like it, you know what I mean, fucking say why. I'd like to know why. Why didn't you like it? Why? I mean, that's a nice, fresh perspective, another perspective. It's always fucking nice to get another perspective, another point of view. But that's it. That's fucking it, man. That's fucking it. Man.